Welcome back to Nightchild Reviews, and to celebrate the 1999 Deluxe Edition this week, we're today looking at what Disc 4 has to offer, and it certainly has much to offer. Here's a quick reminder of what we have on this disc. Now, Disc 4 are vault tracks recorded between April 1982 to January 1983, and includes Possessed, the full-length version of Delirious, Purple Music, Yeah, You Know, Moonbeam Levels, No Called You, Can't Stop This Feeling I Got, Do Yourself a Favour, Don't Let Him Fool Ya, Teacher Teacher, and then the 1999 tour demo, which consists of Lady Cab Driver, I Wanna Be Your Lover, Head, and Little Red Corvette. Very briefly before we begin, there has been some controversy recently regarding the omission by Michael Howe, who is curating this package for the Prince estate, of the two tracks Extra Lovable and Lust You Always. Both of these tracks contain potentially problematic sensibilities due to their explicit and adult references. Some people have argued that they should have been included unedited as a document of the time. Some have argued that they should simply have been edited to remove the key words in question, whilst others feel that the controversy would detract from the project and the reaction and backlash could be damaging for the estate. I've reached out on Twitter to the Prince community but would love to hear your take on these tracks. The estate had a tough call to make, and I'm really interested in how you view these tracks' omission. With that said, let's get utterly possessed by Disc 4 and dive straight in. I first heard the track Possessed on the famous Prince and the Revolution live VHS. Prince danced like a man truly possessed along to its thudding, jerk-filled beat. There have been a number of different versions recorded throughout the 1982 to 84 era, and it made a small background appearance on Purple Rain as Morris attempts to seduce Apollonia with talk of his brass water bed. A full 8 minutes 47 funk workout with Prince's declarations being answered by some huge thick keyboards and some really intricate drum programming deep in the mix. I'm possessed. Wish I didn't need you, wish I didn't care. I've got to make some love to you, 'cause it's too much to bear. The breakdown at around 1 minute 55 really threw me and was a little unexpected, as Prince provides us with a few seconds of whispering fine falsetto delicate vocals. From 2 minutes 25, Prince essentially overlays two competing vocal tracks which are almost too much for your ears to take in at once, and it spins your head into an intoxicating confusion. Possessed has a real James Brown nod, and to hear it in this quality is a real treat. Prince is relaxed, funky, scatting over lines and breaking down the track to a great guitar pulse before calling on Bobby Z and mixing in some vibrating, rubbery effects. The main synth motif is undoubtedly the star of this track, but Prince's quiet vocals at 5 minutes 43 lift the track again with a real ear candy treat. One of the aspects I adore about Prince is that he wrenches every minute out of every track. Some artists just like to fade out the track, but Prince has ideas overflowing till the very end, including a nice jazzy guitar outro which has nods to his first two albums in the late 70s. Fast, frantic fretwork and some gorgeous vocal overlaying. Here we get the full 6 minutes of Delirious rather than the 4 minutes on the album. It is unmastered, but it is obviously still that great rockabilly, jaunty, grab your partner's hand, fun explosion in which Prince exclaims, "Baby, you got to stop, 'cause if you don't I'm gonna explode, and girl, I've got a lot." At 2 minutes 42, Prince asks, "You wanna dance?" Prince adds a lot of vocal noodling and falsetto flourishes to the mix, and at 4 minutes 19 onwards there are some great refrains where Prince fills both sides of your headphones with his chanting. There was just so many lengthy tracks on 1999 that I imagine Prince couldn't see a way of fitting this full-length version in, but at least we get to hear it now. Speaking of lengthy tracks, just under 11 minutes of joy to experience and jam along to here. I can't remember the first time I heard Purple Music. It almost feels like it's always been there, but never in this superb level of quality. Don't need no reefer, don't need cocaine. Purple Music does the same to my brain. I'm high. So high. It's intriguing to note that Prince began playing this song for the first time regularly on the 2016 Piano and Microphone tour, where it is listed on set lists as Welcome to the Freedom Galaxy. Don't need no cymbals, no saxophone, just need to find me a style of my own and I'm high. Some people can't understand, just being inside a church don't make a righteous man. In time we all die, all music gone, so we better try our best to get along. The controversy-like guitar work is supplemented with a variety of otherworldly effects, which almost replicate a state of the music getting one high on funk. Prince's voice is slightly altered into a more robotic, detached version of his baritone. Prince is all over this track throughout and powers it unrelentingly. There are so many background motifs, melodies and drum stabs that add so much depth to this classic. I love the classic drum clatter which smacks you in your ears every so often. At 6 minutes there's a guitar and it sparkles into life and Prince begins to jam. Only Prince can make an 11-minute jam seem oh so short. I like to think that this jam is still going on in some realm somewhere. The part a couple of minutes from the end is hilarious, with a voice asking Prince what he would like to bathe in this morning in a strange butler voice. That really flew by. A thick, vibrating guitar chug leads into a really quirky, catchy number, which has an upbeat, characterful lightness. Prince imbibes the track with humour. What's the matter with you? Smell like diesel fume? Whoever told you it was cool to drink Perrier? This is too catchy. There's a lot of references to a certain way of living, like living in a bag of fast food and watching television like a fool, with Prince declaring there's more to life than spitting when you talk and saying, yeah, you know. Prince mimics this voice towards the end. This one will make you laugh, but you will be singing the chorus for the next few days. It is a little strange to hear this track here again after its inclusion on Prince Forever, but this version is a few seconds longer. Considered a classic Prince track with a real element of darkness, some may know this track by the bootleg title of A Better Place to Die. Yesterday I tried to write a novel, but I didn't know where to begin, so I laid down in the grass trying to feel the world turn. Boy loses girl in a rainstorm, nuclear World War III, and all that's left is pain and sorrow as far as he's concerned. There's some great rising, lifting keyboard backing and a percussive shaker pulses throughout. A newborn child knows nothing of destruction, nothing of love and hate. What happens in between is a mystery, because we don't give a damn about his fate. Prince's vocal is mournful, resigned, and sadness embodied. He said he'll never keep diaries to learn from his mistakes. Instead he'll just repeat all the good things that he's done. Fight for perfect love until it's perfect love he makes. When he's happy, then his battle will be won. It's never too late. This track is absolutely guaranteed to move you in a disconcerting manner. Very much in the vein of Horny Toad or Delirious, Prince's voice is raspy rockabilly with some great sustained sentence run-ons which give it real energy. This track was a bit of an orphan child being passed around to Vanity and then Jill Jones, but never quite finding a home. At 2 minutes 40 there were some great springy bassy runs and Prince declaring, "Just tell me that you love me, just write a letter for crying out loud. I'm stubborn, that's my middle name." Prince even includes the line, "I call your ass up on the phone," which makes a nod to the talents of Irresistible Bitch. A much fuller, big drum pounding, real band treatment of Can't Stop This Feeling I Got, with Prince singing in a much lower register than the officially released Graffiti Bridge opener. The keyboard stabs stutter with real pace, and there are a number of lyrical differences from the eventual final version. At 2 minutes, it's just Prince and loud thumping drum beats, which give a hint of what the track could have been live. Considering this track took 8 years to emerge out into the world, it's interesting to see that there wasn't huge amounts to change, and indeed the scream at 2 minutes 7 is just simply superb. This is a track that I'd heard for years and loved. It has to be one of the most complicated origins ever, as it originated in 1975 as a basic track by Pepe Willie, and has since been released on the 94 East, Symbolic Beginnings, One Man Jam and Cookhouse 5 recordings. Prince was originally unhappy with his guitar work and re-recorded it, but the EQ levels of the studio had been altered, making his guitar noticeably different from the rest of the track. Prince then re-recorded the track from memory in 1982. Then, to complicate matters further, Jesse Johnson released a version inspired by Prince's version on his 1986 album Shockadelica. And that's, quite honestly, just a brief skate over of the details. Do Yourself a Favour is also known as If You See Me, and it's a real heartbreak revenge, I'm doing alright now without you, break up, bitter, feisty stunner of a track. If you see me walking down the street one day, don't say nothing to me. You did me wrong when I was doing bad, so bad that I didn't think I was going to make it. Now I'm alone and feeling free, freer than a butterfly flying high. I don't claim no riches, nor any miracles, but I'm doing better on my own. A full 9 minutes treatment There is a youthful stridency and genuine pain from Prince's scornful lyrics. It's almost Prince's I Will Survive song. Prince's vocal is full, thick and booming, the chords plush and the keyboards very Dirty Mind-esque. 3 minutes 40 there's some keyboard notes that blend to sound almost like vocals, and 4 minutes 5 is where the track gets even better. Prince channels a Jamie Starr-like voice and protests that he is just fine and he's doing great. There was a real angst when he states, "When we were together, did you try to understand me? No." The too sexy refrain is pure Jamie. See that? That's a $50 bill. When's the last time you saw one of those? When we used to be together, I never had any money in my pocket. There are even some elements of Bob George in the I'll kick your ass. However, for all his bravado, right at the end of the track, Prince states, "Come here, I don't care what I told you, come here," perhaps belying his confused feelings. Released as a pre-release teaser for the 1999 Deluxe package, Prince pleads, "Don't let him fool ya," in his intimate falsetto. It also has some great lyrics. "I went to pay a bill at City Hall. Don't let him fool ya. I seen his picture hanging on the wall." It reminds me a bit of My Medallion in that sense. There are some great delicate guitar and drum interchanges and little keyboard lifts. It feels a little new wave, electronic, with some overlaid chants filling up the track as it progresses. This has a real upbeat, free, lifting feel to it, and is perfect for bouncing down the street on a hot summer day. Tambourines and jangly guitars propel this adoration to a teacher. Sick and tired of making plans without making up my mind. Teacher, teacher, can't you see I just needed a little time? I know you've been crying because you've spent the night alone. Some crisp hand claps lead to some exquisite falsetto at 2 minutes, where Prince declares, "Honey, I can't let you use my body the same way you use my mind. Teacher, teacher, I don't want to get in bed." Originally slated for the Dream Factory and then offered to the band 3 O'Clock, this track reminded me of the track Schoolyard thematically, but has a real vibrancy. The last track on this disc is a rather interesting document of the time, as it is the tour demo for 4 songs: Lady Cab Driver, I Want to Be Your Lover, Head and Little Red Corvette, and presumably as a guide for the show. There's some truly plush full vocals on I Want to Be Your Lover. They just sound amazing. I've always loved how Prince ran songs into one another and kept the jam going. Head is present for just a few seconds and merges seamlessly into Little Red Corvette, which takes up nearly 5 minutes of this demo. I always enjoy the little bass run on Little Red Corvette, and to hear the keyboards on their own really brings you back to that era and the excitement and energy of this new album at the time. It's so strange hearing the track without vocals, but it gives a really cherished appreciation of the musical melodies and individual talents of the band to be able to perform this live on tour. The little guitar flecks in the background are a thing of beauty. The keyboard solo at 5 minutes 40 as well holds a ridiculously sustained series of notes, and it's fascinating to see the outro ramp up on this version into a climactic denouement. Makes the hairs stand up on the back of your hands. In conclusion, well, it's Christmas. Another disc of great track with some tracks really receiving the quality production they truly deserve. My favourites will no doubt change 1,000 times, but at the moment I'm truly loving this journey. Let me know your thoughts. Tomorrow we look at Disc 5, a live concert recording from the 1999 tour.